what does it really mean to be a shaman? You see that word being thrown around a lot. Shit, I'm really just now starting to really understand what it means to be a shaman. I mean, shit, for real, shaman, it really has more to do with an evolution than a place that you get there and you're just a shaman, you know. A lot of people think a shaman is somebody who takes drugs a lot, you know. A lot of people think a shaman is somebody who sits out in nature, and while all of these things might be true and somebody can still be a shaman, I guess it just shows that everybody and everything is shamanism, because shamanism is just an attempt to connect the outer world with the inner world. But what isn't that? You know what I'm saying? So I guess this is a perfect time to just talk about how labels, just how useless labels are. One person calls themselves a shaman. One person calls themselves a spiritualist, an occultist, a magician, an alchemist. All of these words, when it's like anybody who's, you know, done any real introspection and you know, meditation, and it's clear that all of these things are the same thing. You know, there's literally no difference in all of the things that I stated. You cannot be an alchemist without being a shaman. You can't be a magician without being a shaman. You can't, you know what I'm saying, or vice versa. You can't be a shaman without being an alchemist or an occultist, or, you know, everybody's scared of the word occult, but what is an occult? Occult just means hidden culture. That's all it means. And I know everybody, at least you should know that. If you don't, that means you were probably too scared to look it up. And that's a denial of the truth. So for me, my shamanic path has been understanding my attachments to the outer world, my addictions. Ironically, because most shamans are just simply drug addicts. They're functional drug addicts. Now, obviously, these drugs and these substances, you know, mushrooms and weed and ayahuasca, hape or rape, however you know, changa, all of those things, they're great. Don't get me wrong. Shit, that was my identity for years. Was the nigga who could take the most psychedelics, the niggas who could, you know. But that's really just that's addiction. That's escapism. You know, so releasing your need to escape. You know, there's you know, I figured out when I was taking, you know, the last time I had a mushroom trip, I saw this cycle that I was going in. This cycle into nothingness that I was dealing with. It was a cycle. It was, you know, me constantly going from 0 to 360. 0 to 360. But then you have that moment like, oh shit, let me go through the middle of that circle, not go on the outside. Let me sit on top of the circle. Which, as you know, most of y'all probably know, that is the Christ energy. The circle being the 12 and the dot in the middle being the 13. understanding your addictions and understanding why one even needs to take a mushroom to tap in. Now, I know that's the biggest thing out right now. Everybody's on the entheogen, or however you say it. Everybody's, and it's, don't get me wrong, that shit it's gonna open something up for you, but it's gonna hoist you up in the air without any regard for the steps in between from where you are sober and where you are on the mushroom. And what most people don't fail to understand, and how they end up escaping, is because the mushroom, all it can do is shoot you up and show you the possibilities of where your mind can take you. That's all the mushroom does. But when you come back down, now you have a goal of where to reach. Now you have a goal of understanding. And when you understand it that way, it's a lot harder to become depressed, because you're no longer on that cloud that you was when you was seeing all that you were seeing on mushrooms. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just being honest here, man, because like I said, taking mushrooms and all of that shit, that was a big part of my identity. You know what I'm saying? I use it as an ego boost to feel like, oh yeah, these niggas not fucking with me. Shit, I done did 10 grams of shrooms type shit. When in reality, it's like, there's certain heights and certain realizations that you still ain't got yet, because you tried to go from the bottom of the mountain to the top of the mountain through teleportation. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is, teleportation. And that's the big thing. Everybody wants to teleport. Everybody wants to go from here to there immediately. But the thing about it is, you're always going to have that fear of missing out. That's not something that can be cured. You skip over steps, even if you don't, your ego doesn't fear missing it out, your soul will. So you're going to have to travel back and circle back around and fill those steps in. So to all of the people who like to escape through weed, through music, through porn, through video games, shit, in the number one, getting money. Niggas love to escape through money. And because that's the one thing that everybody can agree on, it's easy to think that money and the pursuit for it is the only real thing down here on earth. But anybody who moves like that, you can tell that they're not being honest with themselves. You can tell that they're asking for realizations from the universe and then ignoring them when they get it. Straight like that. Because this money shit, everything to go get pleasure, that shit is a trap. There's nothing wrong with you having pleasure or whatever, but pleasure is not found in things. Pleasure is found within you. So me right now, I'm not getting anything out of this physically. I'm not getting a pleasure out of this. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I don't even give a fuck if anybody watches this shit. This is really just for me. You know what I'm saying? And excuse me walking in circles. I like to walk counterclockwise when I'm thinking, for some reason. And that's being a shaman is, to me, is examining that reason, sitting in silence, and understanding the reason why I like to walk counterclockwise when I think. That's all this shit is. Nothing else is real. Everything else is a distraction. Your higher self is the only thing that's real. So when you find yourself putting your spirituality on the back burner, you living a lie. I don't give a fuck if you trying to, you know what I'm saying, all of this, oh, I'm doing it for my kids and blah, blah, blah. That is the biggest lie that we tell ourselves. I'm doing it for my family. No, the fuck you're not, bro. Because deep down, you know that money is not going to save your motherfucking family. Deep down, you know that you're not going to be able to make enough money to feed everybody for the rest of your bloodline. I make $10 billion right now, and I have a kid, but I don't teach that nigga nothing. I don't teach that, you know what I'm saying? I don't show him how to use his mind, how to generate, how to become the source. I ain't teaching you nothing. That money is going to run out. And at some point, we're going to, you know, our bloodline is going to be back to square one. Wondering, damn, bro, how do I change the lives of my bloodline? How do I change the lives of my family for years to come and all of this shit? Man, the only way you do that is through spiritual transformation. That's the only way. And anybody saying any different is in denial. And at this current point is not allowed to be around me. And that's a lot of, you know, and I got good friends, good family that I love. But I had to separate for my own good and for their own good. Because that shit is a distraction. And as spiritual people, you'll notice that without understanding, without people even realizing it, they lean on you for their spirituality. The reason why motherfuckers feel like they ain't gotta go and search for themselves is because they got you that's around them, telling them little bits and pieces here, telling them, hey, you can do magic like this. Hey, you can do this. Hey, you can take this herb. Hey, I had this realization. I had this download. You give people that, eventually they start feeling like it's them doing it, which I guess it kind of is. You know what I'm saying? But the minute that you pull yourself as a crutch out from under them, they gonna fall and they gonna bust their motherfucking ass and they're gonna be right back in the church. So me, I chose to let these motherfuckers fall and bust their ass. Because I realized that I've been carrying niggas when I really need to let them learn how to walk. So, as a spiritual, you know, and, you know, I don't even like calling myself as a spiritualist, or because it makes it feel like it's something, it's like it's an identity. Like it's in like, oh, this is my path. This is not everybody's path. Let me go ahead and clear this up. Everybody's path is fucking spirituality, magic, shamanism, whatever you want. This shit inevitably leads that way. And I know it's like, yeah, you've been living lives and past lives that have led me here. And I get all that. But I'm just going to say this. We are in a new world. And you got motherfuckers that are still stuck on trying to get money and trying to live good on earth and all of this shit. And you got fucking billionaires going to space by themselves. Like just without NASA, without the government. Niggas just going to space. And these white people going to space. No melanin. Going to space. So in the short amount of time that white people have even existed, they've managed to figure out a way to use technology to go into space. Now, anybody that's studying and understands and knows, like I said before, they're gonna have to circle back around and figure out how to do it within. That's something that we've already went through and we've already done. So they're gonna have to circle back around and figure out how to do it within. That's cool. That's their path. But I just said all of that to say, man, stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop acting as if spirituality is not. It's just something that one of your woke homeboys has the right to explore. Really what it be is niggas be scared to disappoint their families and their mamas and all of that shit. And they know that shit, if I switch my lifestyle, I'm gonna have to explain that to everybody. I'm gonna have to trust me. I get it, bro. I get it. But all of the problems, like you know what I'm saying? Like all of the problems that you have, at their root, you're always searching for yourself. You're not searching for money. You're not searching for a half, some Zaza. You feel me? Like you ain't searching for some shrooms. You ain't searching for bad bitches. You ain't searching for none of that. You're searching for you. Because you do all of the things that I just said to pleasure yourself, stimulate those pleasure receptors in your brain. So the goal is obviously to get to that point where you understand yourself so much that you don't have to go seek pleasure. You are pleasure. And that can only be done by going this spiritual route. I ain't saying you gotta understand and read all the same things that I gotta read, but I will say this, goddammit. Whatever religion you grew up in, whatever system that grew up, you know, controlling you, hell, if you in America, whether you're a Christian or not, that's something you need to study. You know what I'm saying? But even if you're Islam, to understand yourself, you have to understand what has mind controlled you. To undo your mind control, you have to understand the things that were used to control your mind. You have to. There's no way around it. So, you know, it literally will take you, depending on how fast you want to do it, you know, depending on, but like bro, I'm telling you, with the way that the world is moving now, if you focus, bro, you can tap into a new level of understanding and be a whole new person, unrecognizable by the people around you. And I know that's what scares niggas, but you know, whatever. That's the point. If you're scared at this point, get the fuck on. But you can become a whole new person in a week. You can level up in a week. You know what I'm saying? Like, all you gotta do is seek it. And I promise you it'll come to you. And the same seeking goes through when you gotta get money, when you gotta figure out, you know, you gotta figure out how to get women to like you. And, you know what I'm saying? If you wanna, I don't know, shit, I just feel like the two things that every nigga cares about. You want to figure out, you know what I'm saying, how to build some shit. Or it's always going to be a learning period. It's always going to be a learning period. So, I ain't going to ramble on, man. I just, you know, want to just point out that, like, yo, you wasting precious space. And if you're not wasting precious space, it's time for you to get the fuck from around people who are wasting precious space and time and all of that shit. Well, to be honest, time and space ain't real, so you ain't wasting shit. You know what I'm saying? There's another version of me on the other side of this shit right now. You understand what I'm saying? There's another version of me. However you want to look at it, time and space. There's fairies all around here. All around here. There's fairies. I come here every day. That's my tree. Big oak, big homes, big dog, for real. All the answers is right in front of you, man. All you got to do is quiet your mind. Like, I just seen some shit right there on everything I love, bro. On everything I love, I just seen some shit. An entity. It wasn't a body. It was like a little light body just walking. So just tap in, man. Stop playing. Because if you're feeling unfulfilled, this is why. This is why you feel unfulfilled. Because you playing. Stop playing.